There's a lot of odd things going on in this world. Donald Trump being president's probably not even the weirdest shit. But having 38% of the American population still believe his Tom bullshittery, I don't know if that's the weirdest part. The fact that the evidence has consistently been presented and they consistently fight us seems to be like, how is it that y'all are able to vote and you want IDs to vote? Do you understand that discludes you from getting to vote? But then we end up in that fun argument of, oh, not us. It's for them. I love that argument. I used to do door-to-door sales of security. Kind of like ADT. Not ADT, okay? But kind of like it. It's electronic security system. Third party. All right? Now, I often came up against, nah, that's for that, them other people get robbed. Them other people get robbed. We ain't got none of them vagabonds and sentient, transient people coming through here. No. That don't happen. Now, if you'd looked up the crime stats, like I tend to do, you'd find out that there had been being robbed, but it turned out that it was actually the teenagers who were skipping school and fucking around who knew that nobody was home and who wasn't home and what they had because they'd been in there. But no. They don't get robbed. That shit don't happen there. And that was a consistent thing. Or my favorite thing, I got a gun. Oh, Lord have mercy. Bless y'all's fucking heart. I'm sorry. A gun is a wonderful thing, especially when you shoot your own foot with it, okay? It just makes it the robber's job just that much easier, okay? And a lot of times, you're not supposed to keep your bullets in your gun, which is supposed to be a safety thing, right? Because God forbid your kid finds your unsecured gun, because then they blow off their head and they're not nearly as fun to play with. Let me tell you, dead kids, not fun. That's why we want to prevent that, right? But unfortunately, we got people that want to put guns and bullets. And then they get robbed and they think, oh, I'm going to be able to prevent getting robbed and stuff. Get a baseball bat. Less likely to shoot your dick off, less likely to shoot your left big toe off, and less likely to actually not hit the robber, right? Because that's the other part of the problem. A lot of places, if you shoot the robber, even in the act of committing a crime, they can still come after you for being hurt or whatever, all right? It's real fun. It's bullshit. Yes, I agree. They shouldn't be allowed to get to benefit from the fact that blah, 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 blah. Listen, I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. You know what I am? I'm a voter, okay? And so that's what I do. I go and I look into my representatives, whether it's local, semi-local, like in if you're like in a little town, then you have to go semi-local, which is your immediate surroundings, and then go up to your county stuff. You need to keep up in that, and then you need to keep up with maybe the big city that can influence bullshittery and some of the shit around you, and the state, okay, and then federal, because all of those little lovely politics influences your little tiny piece of heaven. And some places, it's not bad. You got enough money, it don't matter. I can just ignore it all. And I wish I could. But, see, the problem is that it's starting to affect me and mine. My quality of life, my children's quality of life, and my children's future. All right? Not so much mine. I'm already old enough. I've lived my life. If I fuck, you know? But my children do deserve the opportunities. They are American citizens and they deserve the opportunity to live with other American citizens, whether they are born here on American soil in the continental U.S. or off the continental U.S. on like Puerto Rico, which is a territory, or a U.S. base, or happen to be born to a pair of immigrant parents or one immigrant parent and an American citizen. There is already in the Constitution, which is what I'm hoping to prevent from being eroded and destroyed, because people don't like this quaint, cute, not really applicable document. I get it. People don't like rules. They're annoying. I don't like rules. They're annoying. But rules are the agreed upon compromises, okay? Because unfortunately, not everybody wants to live the same. That's what's to make America great. Because we don't have to live the same. All right? We don't need to live the same, but as a community, we can take care of people. But there's a fallacy in that community statement, because we've got a lot of churches that are running around promoting community, and then they're not doing their part. And I have personally had to go and run and say, please, could you help with this? I've had various incidences in my life, like a fire that wiped us out. And to be honest, a lot of good people helped after that fire, but not a lot of churches did. And if you went there for help for whatever reason, a lot of them did not have the actual pantry to help. They didn't actually have a fund to go get you a pair of shoes or diapers for your kid or baby formula like that lady on TikTok recently did. But they get a tax exemption status, which I cannot apply for and I cannot get unless I am a church helping the community. Well, what they are doing is spreading their word of God and helping, but a lot of it's missionary work over somewhere else, not benefiting the immediate community. So while I understand we want less government in our lives, I don't understand the whole Trump account, Trump phone, Trump this, Trump, you're going to have to. That seems to be more intrusive into your life that you seem to want to have less government in. I think that if we want to hold people responsible, that's fine. But I don't think eroding the very foundations that our Constitution is put upon is a justification as to why we are going to feed our greed and our bigotry and our misogyny. And yes, I said it, we. I am greedy too. I want money. I always want money. Money, money, money. Because guess what? Money makes the world go around. Money is what pays my bills. Money is what my landlord wants for his rent. Money is what my gas company and my electricity company wants for their supply of their stuff. That's what they want. Okay? They don't want my good looks. I got that. That's on me. What they want is money. And in order for me to enjoy the light and the heat that's in my house, okay, you gotta have money, okay? And people are like, oh, go get a job. Yeah, low skill, no skill. Motherfucker, I hate that term. Low skill, no skill job. If you've ever heard of a load of bullshit, that would be one of those low skill, no skilled bullshittery falseries. You know, I can't speak anymore. Fuck it. But it is false. Yeah, we can train you. But see, that indicates that the job is got some skills. And not everybody can do it. If everybody could do it, everybody would do it. Hello. Oh, Listen, sometimes it's the job requirement itself needing the employee to be available practically 24 fucking 7 on call and not a set schedule. Okay? I get it. You might think that cooks are a low-skilled, no-skilled job, but, honey, go boil a pot of water, make you some ramen, and then go to a ramen noodle shop. Understand the difference. Go enjoy what skill, what time, what effort, and standing on your feet all day making minimal fucking wage tastes like. That is fucking skill. To take that and make it damn good so you want to come back again and again tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. But there's no skill in that. Listen, there is. And it takes time to get it. And in that time, that chef needs to eat. He needs, or she needs to provide for their family or for themselves. Whether it's heating for their house or a house over their head, clothing on their ass that is clean, and water for their ass to be washed in. Okay? All of that requires money. Now, a lot of places are small businesses. All right? They're not the ones that are getting the tax breaks that the big fucking beautiful bill gave. No, that gave out to mostly tech. Okay? Which is making the stock market look so fucking great until you look into the other markets and you're like, oh my God, gird your loins, ladies. Hack them skirts up. We've got shit coming in, Houston. We've got a problem. Holy shit. Yeah, we do. Gird your loins, ladies. Hack it up. Y'all like to tell me, a Democrat, who has family on social services, that we need to make better choices and we need to gird our loins and hike our skirts up and fucking find a better job. Well, congratulations. Y'all are all gonna be right here in the same damn boat. Look at it. Look at the fucking stock market. Even Fox News is saying, oh, holy fucking shit. We got a problem. We might have a problem if Fox News is saying we got a problem. I'm just saying. When they agree with the Democrats, you might need to look and say, hey, there's a lot of foreclosures. There's a lot of, where's the jobs? But the tech industry said we were going to have manufacturing and job. Where's the jobs? I'm hungry. Yeah. Really? Open your eyes. Get the dirt out of them. Look around. I know we've been having tornadoes and shit, but this is not a Biden thing. This is not a Democrat thing. No. Sorry. Because one of my favorite presidents, Obama, Democrat, he was able to do a bipartisan fucking 2 terms and managed not to fuck this shit up. Okay? And prior to that, he had inherited a fucked up economy. Oh, from who? George W. Bush, a Republican? What? No. Say it ain't so. But it's the Democrats that's the dirty word here. Democrat. Dirty. It's very dirty. Every time I fucking hear it. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you're one of those Democrats. Oh, you're one of those socialists. When I think, yes, we should have public education that it is a decent standard quality. Yes, I agree. And while, yes, it's a bitch, yes, we need income taxes because I like driving on roads that are safe. I know. You're like, what? Income taxes? What? Yeah, They kind of go into a city and state thing, and it ends up helping fund not just schools, but it helps fund the maintenance, repair, and putting in roads and certain infrastructure that you may need. Sewer. Yeah, I know, right? But do you like garbage? Do you like smelling shit? No. Nobody does. But you also like clean water. I know I do. Well, there's a lot that goes into that. And in one part, it's keeping your sewage in its own little contained environment until it is safe enough to be released into a larger area to mix and then finalize and whatnot. And if you are on like the International Space Station, you'd maybe be drinking a little of your own pee that's been filtered and shit. So that's the whole system. They do that shit. But it takes money. It takes people that have time. But see, long before you get to that fiddling, you got to have people that know how to build it, how to pour the concrete, what the concrete needs to be so it doesn't go and crack in like 5 years and you're running around saying, shit! Yeah, you need places that can actually manufacture the pumps, the valves, the metal, the concrete, the Portland cement, the rebar, the all of the above. Plus, you need the people that know what the fuck they're doing when they're pouring the shit. And I know, no skill. Listen, motherfucker, we already decided. Ain't not everybody doing that. Not everybody can do that. And if it ain't done right, it sucks. Okay? So, first. Secondly, again, you get it started, get it up and running. Somebody has to get it, all that done correctly. And then they have to have people that are trained to take over that does the little like continue on. And if there's maintenance, you have to have the maintenance crew. That takes money. That's why I'm willing to pay income tax. I'm willing to look and get a job. But unfortunately, I get it. You're like, well, go work at Taco Bell. I can't stand on my feet 8 hours a day anymore. I have fucked myself up from working and overworking and being on hard floors that I can't do it. I am 38 years old and I am fucked up from way over hard working, way underpaid, and unfortunately my body and my heart just can't take it. So I can't have high stress, high, gotta go. 8 hours on your feet and you may or may not get a break at some point in that 8 hours. There is no more 110 hours a week. There is no more 60 hours a week working for me. I have to have certain set days that I can't work because I have things I am committed to, okay, that I do. Yes. I know, it's like, what? You're actually busy? You're not just here fucking around on TV or YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or whatever? No. I got 3 kids and an elderly mother to take care of. And no, my family does not help me. Okay? My church does not help me. And my community does. I do have some really great people that occasionally, lends me $20. But in the grand scheme of things, if I need heart surgery, if I needed a knee surgery, if I got really fucked up, no, there's no one to come in my house and clean. There's no one going to do my dishes besides my mother, who's already here and a part of the household. And we may get the teenagers to help. But beyond that, who's here, ain't nobody going to the store beyond who's already here. If I can't work, there ain't money coming in. And yes, I do a lot of side hustles. I build shelves. Wow, really? Really? I'm learning to speak today. The English language is actually my second language, apparently. Moron is my first one. I hustle. Dog training, basic construction, build your little shelf, repair some shit, clean up your house. Yes, I can cook, and occasionally I am a personal cook. Again, I can't do 8 hours on my feet at once anymore. I can't. I'm training my kids to start taking over Thanksgiving and Christmas because it is physically almost impossible for me to do that now. And it pisses me off because I remember being 16. I remember slugging this and slugging that and having no problem fucking 110 hours a week and making that money. But see, that's the problem with that whole no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. The fallacy is that it doesn't actually hold the employer responsible for a actual legitimate livable wage or legitimate 401k, a legitimate any type of long-term retirement stuff. No, you're barely making ends meet. So I don't know how you're going to get to a point where, all of a sudden shit happens that you didn't plan, because nobody plans to be disabled. Nobody plans to not be able to be on their feet for 8 to 12 hours a day or whatever. Nobody plans for that shit. But when life kicks you in the balls, and it loves to do that, I swear I pissed that bitch off at some point in my life. I don't know what I did to her. I probably fucked her little brother. I might have fucked her for all I know. I just know life likes kicking me in my balls consistently. Oh, you didn't plan for this? Oh, congrats. Bah! Life is expensive. Life requires money. And sometimes the choices we make today are not always an undoable choice. Sometimes the choices today we make are undoable. Lesson learned, not doing it that way again. The hubris of the human experience is, unfortunately, we don't always know what that is going to be. But as a Democrat, I do know that consistently telling somebody they need to pull themselves up by them bootstraps, that they shouldn't need social help and all this shit, and oh yeah, over here too, how dare they get this, and Medicaid or affordable health care. Oh, no. They're taken from us. Are they really? Because last time I checked, the more people that were on insurance, it was supposed to go down, not up. But see, greed gets out a check, and all of a sudden, those insurance companies are like, oh, more money. I like more money. I need another house out in Ohio. I need another house in Spain. I need to afford my $555 million yacht that takes $5 million a day to run. I don't know if it does. But again, it's not going back into the business. And we know that because when we look at several of the insurance companies that have had to fold, not just healthcare, but housing. Look at both Florida and Texas right now, and California. Yeah, I'll pick on a Democratic state. They're all, unfortunately, because they are accident prone. I can't imagine why. The insurance companies are like, wait, we have to pay out now? We weren't planning on paying out. Well, no. Y'all were supposed to pay in. The point wasn't to pay out. You thought you were supposed... No! Damn, now we gotta pay to fix shit? No, we bankrupt. We ain't got no money. I don't know how we got no money. We ain't got no money. And then all of a sudden they're not writing new policies for people who are coming in trying to buy new houses or build new houses. Yeah. You're not. And then they're starting to silently cancel or find reasons for whatever, like, oh, you decide to drain your pool because you're in the middle of the drought. Oh no, that is a hazardous condition. We're going to cancel your policy. That makes sense. Come on. I get it. Insurance was not meant to actually cover what happened in life. You're supposed to magically have a savings account that somehow magically was able to fill itself up every month with the required amounts, and magically your job that is the only main employer in the entire area, that's supposed to magically stay there for 125,000 years. Because that's the other part of the problem. A lot of places didn't diversify. So when employer or an employer goes out, like Walmart, or the government is the biggest employer in the area, and they decide, oh, we're going to furlough for how many fucking days? Yeah, all them people did not get money and did not have money to pay for Mickey D's or Walmart or just basic rent, mortgage, all that, sewer, water, car payment, car insurance. Yeah. And if you were in this position, what would you be doing? Looking for another job? But as, say, a no-skilled or limited skilled cook, oh, well, you could just find a job anywhere, right? Are you sure? Because I've lived in some small towns where literally they only had 3 fucking eatery places, like any kind of eatery places. And then one closed down, and there were 2 eatery places. All right? And then another closed down, and then finally, I think a couple months later, maybe a year, another one opened up. And then, because the old one, and I'm not going to flick people off, but that one closed down, and only the new place was there, and then 2 other places finally opened up, but they weren't anywhere like the quality of what you used to have. They're just like cheeky, not even McDonald's type crap. All right? And people have to still work and all that in time. They still have to eat and all that stuff. So then you go outside your county, you go outside to the city. I live in New York City. And again, for various reasons. Part because I like public transportation, which is a big thing that this country lacks. Public transportation. Not just buses, I mean trains. And then with the recent thing with the planes, I'm not getting in a rocket strapped to my ass that I can't seem to get out of because there's not enough air traffic controllers in the little tower to keep all the planes in the air safely and get to the ground safely. Like, no. Or maintenance. That's the other problem. You saw that UPS one where literally the engine fell off. Fell off. That ain't supposed to happen, by the way. Engines aren't supposed to just fall from the sky like holy revelations. No. That's not what that's supposed to be. But it happened, and it's been happening. And yes, I know, we have had plane accidents for many years, and we've had this issue. But Boeing already made me weary of wanting to get in a plane when they pulled that snafury with I believe it was the 787s or the 878s, whatever. And literally, they fucking They didn't tell the pilots that they had this stuff in the background, because that would have added more money. We would have had to train them. You got a couple hundred people relying on your ass? You should train them motherfuckers. And that should not be, well, the price point you want to save on. My life, while may not have value to you or anybody else here, it has value to me. Whether I woke up today or not, it still has value to me. Because to me, I am valuable. I don't have to be valuable to anybody else, just me. And I think everybody needs to be valuable to themselves. Because we are valuable. We just don't know how we're valuable. All right? And allowing other people to define your valuability, the dumbest shit. Most people don't know what they got until they ain't got it any damn way. So do not let them define your valuability. But when they start to make choices that affect your life, your quality, and put stress on you and affect what you feel is your valuability, then I definitely think as a Democrat, you should get out and vote. But before you vote, you need to do your due diligence and research. And if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and keeps occasionally meowing, has a tail out the back end and a pair of ears, I would start to question, are you a fucking cat in a duck suit? Because that man, like Donald Trump, Trumpians, he has never been a magnanimous civil servant ever. His entire family ain't built like that. If we were talking about the Kennedys, yes. Because Joe Kennedy helped put in something called the sense of beyond thyself. Okay? And that's why they went into civil service. And that's why they're regarded as a great family. Oh, mostly. I don't know. Vaccines cause autism, and Tylenol causes autism. Do not believe somebody that sounds like they sucked on the wrong end of the tailpipe and has a brain worm. Okay, I'm sorry. No. He even doesn't sound like 2 plus 2 is 5, my friend. It's the way you wrote it. I'm not an expert. I'm not a mathematician. Why would you ask me math? Because it's basic knowledge for your job? Then why are you in that job? Well, because I felt like vaccines were killing Americans, and I think Tylenol caused autism, and my friend Donald J. Trump, who's a great president, gave me a job after I sucked him off. Maybe. Because we still ain't got them Epstein files. Although on the Epstein files, I'm pretty sure it's not RFK or whatever, RJF or whatever that dipshit Kennedy that's Maha right now. And my apologies to all the other Kennedys. I am sorry, I did not mean to degrade your name. Just that one, okay? Because he is. The other ones, I got no issues with you. So, my apologies. Not trying to get any lawsuits, just saying. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm the leader of Ma, but I just don't know. Take it, Dr. Oz. And talking about Dr. Oz, who has definitely been smacked more than once as a snake oil salesman. Yeah, say that 5 times fast, and you'll get Oz. Okay. Well, again, Dr. Oz? But then it kind of makes sense because you went with the apprentice guy. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. That's really all he was known for. Hold my beer. You're fired. You're fired. I'm sorry, but you make Omarosa look like a decent person. And honestly, God rest Michael Clark Duncan. No, Michael Duncan Clark. You know, I'd never gotten that $5 off the man because I never could say his name right, but I loved him. He was a beautiful man. Very nice, very wonderful. Okay, heard wonderful things. And honestly, without him, I probably would still say, yeah, Omarosa's a bitch. But that man saw something wonderful. And again, I will say, that lady, while she may be a bitch, she was in Donald J. Trump's first term, and Omarosa was like, oh, hell nah. Gotta go. Bye-bye. And bitch dipped. Bitch dipped. She decided it wasn't worth whatever to come out of her face. Maybe it go back to the way she was, or in general, maybe it's because that was a dirty son of a bitch then, and he's a dirty son of a bitch now. Could be. But I know she's been off doing other things. I'm glad. Okay. I'm sorry for her loss. I'm sorry for the world's loss on that man, but you could see from the get-go, over and over, people that have known Donald J. Trump, they are jumping the fucking ship. And people who have written books about him, even the ghostwriters are like, hooty-hoo, hooty-hoo, not a good man. He's gonna be a fascist. Oh, by the way, he's a fascist. He's gonna be a tyrant. He's going to erode your constitutional rights. He's gonna take over. He says he's gonna be a tyrant from day one. So at what point do we agree that the economy sucks? Democrats are not the dirty word. Socialism, in the context of helping our neighbors live a standard quality of life, is also not a dirty word. But tyrant is. Fascist is. Nazi is a dirty word. They're dirty. Not Democrat. Not democracy. Not the U.S. Constitution of America. You know, none of those are dirty words. No, a fascist, a tyrant, a misogynistic rapist, or pedophile. Those are dirty words. And we really, I don't even know how to make it funny. He's a dirty old guy who's about to really be a tyrant. And I don't know a tyrant with dementia is any better. Because at a point, yeah, Hitler was Hitler, but so was Himmler and Goebbels, and I'll think of the third guy. I always forget him. But what if, all three of them, what if Hitler had, not been available for fucking 3 years and they decided to carry on? Would any of us have known? I don't know. Kinda, because Hitler was the more charismatic, but Goebbels and Himmler were very charismatic in their own right as well. Kind of like J.D. Vance and Carolyn Levitt. They're kind of charismatic in their own right. So is Kash Patel. And I'm sorry that they actually have time to do anything besides sucking Donald J. Trump off, or patting him on the back, or getting a bib so he doesn't spill like a little toddler and giving him crayons to entertain himself and say, no, here's a thing you can sign. Yeah, we're going to legitimize blowing people up in the water for maybe or maybe not drugs. And by the way, Venezuela doesn't do fentanyl. No fentanyl. If there is, the I and the F, because so far, no proof, if there are drugs or were drugs, it was cocaine, okay? Not fentanyl, which seems to be his big thing, right? But cocaine, all right? Fentanyl mostly is produced in other places, not Venezuela, okay? But not only that, I want you to imagine that you were fishing off the coast of Florida and Venezuela decided you had cocaine, okay? Yeah, you had cocaine. And they decided to blow you and your son up in your boat while you're fishing, all right? Yeah. And then you managed to clutch onto the hole long enough, praying that some god will send a fisher boat or somebody else saw what just happened, and you get hit by another missile. I guess you're not fishing no more, huh? For cocaine. That is not the one that's causing the... No. And by the way, most of us can't afford cocaine. Right now, we too damn broke. I know people said I've been doing meth. Man, motherfucker, I can't afford meth. Just like I couldn't afford cocaine. Because, in part, they're expensive fucking drugs. Consequentially, but in general, most of the white powder, known as... it's actually rich white guys that do that. A majority of the ones that fund that business are people that have financial means to do so. And then at a point, it strips them away of their financial means because it overtakes their life, and then they land in what we know as cocaine addicts and all that stuff. But again, long before they got to this point, all right? So yes, I'm sorry, but to justify, oh, well, you were in international waters and we did it as international... No! America, or specifically her president, Donald J. Trump, committed a war crime. A war crime. And Pete Hegseth helped him. So I don't know if The Hague will be coming and being like, hey, we need your president and we need him now to answer for the bullshittery he is pulling. But then again, I don't have a lot of faith in The Hague right now because Russia is is invading Ukraine, you know? And it's like, why does the Russian peace plan that the U.S. is trying to push is pretty much give everything to Russia, Ukraine get fucked? And why is it every time that Ukraine says, no, we will compromise and you can fuck off, and the Russia's like, no, I want everything. And if I don't get everything, I don't want it. I want what I want, when I want it, how I want it, because I want it. And America's like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I do think Trump, and I do think that Russia is this not the aggressor here, and Ukraine should definitely concede and not join NATO and not have any military, even though it's not them that got invaded. It was Russia trying to help some people, and they didn't like it. Okay, I know. But I said I would word salad. Word salad. Half the time, I don't even know if he knows what's coming out of his mouth anymore. Much less the people around him. I'm going to leave it here for a while. I know I ramble on a lot, but the key points in this is democracy is a good thing. It's worth saving. Democrat, not a dirty word. Republican, I can't say that it's not a dirty word, but if you would vote Republican even if Hitler is running, then it's a dirty word, okay? Dirty, dirty word, okay? Like sewage, just spewing, dirty, and makes it a fascist and Nazi, which are also dirty words. So democracy is worth saving, and whether it's a Democratic or a liberal or Republican to some degree, or an independent, all right? Compromise and bipartisan is one of the most important concepts, but it's not the only concept. And a lot of them are supported by the U.S. Constitution, which men smarter than me, smarter than you, and understood what the real consequences to a monarch that is unseen, unheard, and able to fuck you up anytime they fucking feel like it actually is, all right? They didn't want that. They didn't want that for their people then. They didn't want that people going forward. And for many years, over 250 years, we have managed to not break this document, not destroy this document, all right? Because we all like living here. We all enjoy the freedom. We all enjoy the choices, all right? But we should not be restricting choices from people who can make those informed choices, who can make those decisions, unless they are harmful, okay? But we can't use that certain bases for what is harmful, because what's harmful to me may not be harmful to you. I can't do stress. My heart can't take it, okay? But you could possibly handle stress. So you could possibly enjoy taking a trip to the moon and back. That could be fun. Sounds fun, but I couldn't stand it. I'd die halfway through the trip. All right? What is harmful for me is not necessarily harmful for you. Diabetics need insulin. I'm not diabetic. If you gave me insulin, it would probably kill me. Diabetics, they need insulin, or type 1 needs insulin. Okay. Again, see? Where does those definitions? Well, we have medical, okay? We have financial definitions, but we also had some religious stuff that we put in because, again, people have a hard time understanding separation of church and state. And they'll be like, oh, but the founding fathers. No, not all of them were Christian. Most of them are, not all of them. And they understood that by one person getting to decide what branch or what set or how the interpretation is, the other people got fucked if they didn't believe that. I.e., Church of England. I don't want to live in a place like that or in that time period. I want to live in a place where I have autonomy over my body. I want to live in a place where I have the freedom of choice to living in New York City or Atlanta or LA or hell, Texas, or Oklahoma, or bumfuck middle of fucking nowhere, or 30 minutes away from bumfuck middle of fucking nowhere. I like those choices, all right? But I also want to make sure that my fellow community can also support themselves, that they can drive safely down the road, that they can drink clean water, that they can drink or breathe clean air, and they can enjoy the electricity that they need to power their homes and their businesses. I want all that. But I do not think that demonizing the working class and the poor people, the ones that really do keep this country running no matter fucking what, is the way to go. I don't think blaming Democrats who want to improve and raise the standard of life and the quality of life is the ones to blame either. If we're going to blame somebody, blame the greed. Blame the greedy corporations. Blame the corporations that have politicked and lobbied so that there's not a livable wage, that there's no protections for overtime, that there's no protections for the worker, that there's no regulations, because those were the rules that we all agreed to follow by, and Republicans mostly blew a big asshole because they were an inconvenience. And now we've got plane engines falling out the sky like a gift from heaven. Inconvenience, ain't it though? And I'm glad that nobody got squished with that. But it could have been different. And how long do you think you should pay for that mistake? That inconvenience that was an inconvenience that fucked somebody else's life up? And like, if we find out that the White House ballroom, all those workers get cancer from inhaling asbestos, and they end up with mesothelioma, like, what you gonna do? Like, are we as a taxpayer supposed to pay for that because Donald J. Trump decided he wanted to fuck the American Republic over? And how long should we have to pay for that? Because really, at a point, like right now, Democrats like me and many others are screaming, hoo-dee-hoo, hoo-dee-hoo. Listen, what you about to do is stupid. I get it. You were fed a line. I get it. You didn't know. I get it. You watch Fox News. I get it. You went to your church pastor. I get it. You didn't know that 2 + 2 is 4. No matter how you write it, it's 4. Okay? We're not doing advanced math. We're doing basic. 2 + 2 is 4. 2 oranges, 2 oranges. 4 oranges. 4 pieces of fruit. 4. Okay? I get it. Somebody didn't teach you that. Well, we're going to teach you that, but if you don't want to listen and you want to shit and say, oh, that don't apply, I'm never going to, okay. Fuck around and find out. FAFO. But when that man fucks you over, and he will, but at a point, we as Democrats do have to stop this, because he's going to be a tyrant, and it does affect my life. All right? It does affect my community. My community is worried. Is ICE going to come in? Are they going to bother my children down the street? Am I going to go to work over there and get bothered and arrested and I can't make it home and my family doesn't know? That affects my community. When the prices of food, because, hello, where all does our food come from? And yes, tariffs are taxes. He had to take them off to lower the prices. All right. So I'm sorry. Tariffs or taxes. Price of food. We just did Thanksgiving. And it was less and more expensive. And I know people are like, I got this. Listen, bullshit. I'm calling it. Bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Walmart said it was bullshit. Walmart said it was bullshit. If Walmart says shit, a company that takes subsidies from the United States of America, okay, whose family who recently just sold off a shit ton of stock, Walmart, if they tell me that they are doing something and it is better for the American Republic because they did it, I'm saying bullshit. Because unfortunately, well, yes, Walmart can be so great. Look at all the stuff here. All right. They keep the wages low. They diversify the market and the community of their local businesses. Okay. And ultimately, in the long term, they do not create a long-term sustainable community business that brings in additional businesses to work. Yeah. Walmart is a proven community terror upper. Okay? Yeah, I don't remember the actual word, but there is an actual term for what Walmart does. Okay? And it's destructive. It's not better and whatnot. And I know a lot of y'all probably heard New York City's closing 20 Walmart stores. Come here. Let me tell you something. As a New Yorker, there ain't no motherfucking Walmarts. Yes, New York State, that's different from the city. New York State is closing 20 different. That includes somewhere out in like Long Island and upstate. I think maybe finally the Whitehall, or not Whitehall, White something. I'll think of the name, Westchester or something like that. Anyway, they are closing. But otherwise, no Walmarts in New York City. Didn't want them because they diversify the economic market when they come into a place, because they get to underbid and then spread out all their expenses across the board. A lot of little business, unique businesses can't do that. Hence why big corporations like to promote minimum wage, no taxes on tits, no overtime taxes, no overtime taxes. Motherfuckers, you're not even making $100,000 a year. That's the other reason why Walmart wasn't allowed here. That's the problem right there. Livable wage. Stripping an American worker of the ability to do stuff and survive in America. And then shitting on them. And being like, oh, you're a criminal because you're an immigrant. Listen, a lot of those immigrants are why our economy is so fucking good. And if you don't know, motherfucker, I like Chinese food, Italian food. I like being able to go down and get something for the Korean market or the Japanese market. I like being able to go over to the halal market, get my stuff in the kosher market. It makes economies great because it brings more products in. Capitalism, baby! Make that money! But then Democrats don't want to make money. No, I want to make money. I just don't believe on destroying the environment that I have to live in, others have to live in, my children have to live in, and I do not agree with destroying the community and the people around me to make $5 billion. That I don't agree with. I want to live a comfortable life, but not at the expense of other people's lives. That is not fair. And that's what we're trying to do. And yes, to some degree, that's an oxymoron statement because I buy stuff from other countries that may not hold the same worker standards and stuff. Yes, I get it. Bitches be broke. And I'm trying to find and make everything work in my little reality. And occasionally that requires me buying stuff from other places that, well, when I find out that their workers not treating their workers right, I don't keep buying from them. Hence why I haven't gotten to buy a pair of Levi jeans in forever. I love them, I do. But indigo dye is a bitch. And to date, they have yet to figure out what to do with the waste and the crap and the toxic crud that indigo dye does. And yes, we have synthetics, but there's a whole nother issue with that. But a lot of our issues are just that. And if we focused a lot more on those issues instead of blaming the woman that has 5 kids that's getting food stamps, oh my God, you got how many carts of soda and you got this and you get to have McDonald's? No, I'm not going to begrudge that they got all that. No, they eat. They ate. I hope that they get to survive and go on. No, but it could cause health problems. So can walking across the street, and I'm going to pay for that one too. I'm not going to bitch about that they got hit because some idiot was doing cocaine while his girlfriend mistress was sucking him off and he was driving 80 or 120 miles through the city. Yes, some stupid shit has happened. Variety of stupid shit. All right? To some degree, at what point do we hold people accountable? At what point do we say, you are struggling. Let us help you. All right? Not everybody has family that can or will. Not everybody has churches that can or will. There's not all, as far as I know, most of the mosques will help. Most of the temples do help. But occasionally, you do find some bullshittery. Not everyone can. Not everyone will. But as a government that I think we should pay taxes into, I think helping our citizens, which they were doing, all right? And there were immigrants that were citizens. But to scream, oh, they're not citizens. They're citizens. We're a country of fucking immigrants. We have a way for how to define a citizen. There is a naturalized citizen and there is a born citizen. And naturalized citizens are American citizens, just like a born is an American citizen. They're both citizens. And we need to make a process because more people means more money. More people means more jobs, more abilities. But it also means that we as a country need to do better. And we've locked down our borders. And I'm telling you, fascism. He has no plans on opening them up. He has no plans. His plans are to now start to, and it's a really quaint word. If you want to do the word of the day is remigration. Remigration, or is forced migration. Forced migration is not voluntary migration. So imagine if you have to decide on whether or not you leave your kid and you go back to wherever. Because as you were in the middle of trying to do your asylum stuff, shit happened. So your neighbor down the street, your maid, your janitor that used to clean the hospital, whoever. The delivery guy that used to deliver the Chinese food. And at this point, forced migration should not result in going to a gulag or a re-education camp or any other number of quaint words that are essentially concentration camps or death camps. And those are two different words. Again, I'm going to leave it here. I know I got off on another rant. I'm the Sherman Democrat. Again, I think democracy's worth saving. I know, it is. I think America's worth saving. I think America's a wonderful place. I just don't know how to do it. I can't do it alone. And I can't do it by myself. I'd love for some support. I would love for some comments. I'd love for you to like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you want, please donate. Linktree has my Cash App, my Venmo, I believe my PayPal, and you can always check out one of the sponsors who is helping us out. They are Cricket House Studios. They're a small American business and design house. They offer their designs at Zazzle.com/CricketDiane. Zazzle.com is a American products and on-demand printing, on-demand products, so it keeps waste low. Small workers, small businesses and workers of America support, so that's a great thing. I love that, and it allows them to offer their designs and allow you to customize your life, customize your gifts, customize it everywhere, make it uniquely you. And that's what I love about Cricket House Studios. They are unique and they are great. So check them out, Zazzle.com/CricketDiane. And I look forward to seeing y'all again. I look forward to hearing your comments. Like, subscribe, share. Until next time, goodbye.